Hello, Rico Austin here. Uh, some of you know me, many of you do not know me. I'm an author. I've written 10 books. My bestseller was called Bad Tequila, about a spring break trip gone bad. I've written 10 books. I'm currently writing another 4. The reason I'm here today is because of the coronavirus that's going on right now, and the need for us all to accept social responsibility. I'm currently working on 4 books right now. One which is a self-help book called Boy to Successful Man, which is was originally written for underprivileged kids from 10 to 18 years old, particular boys that maybe didn't have a father figure in their life, were adopted, whatever, or maybe their parents haven't had time to spend with them, and they're, some are perhaps troubled teens, some maybe not. But I've been working on this book, like I said, for 10 years. It what began as a book with 12 chapters, now has 26 chapters, but I don't feel like I have time now to get it edited, published. So what I'm gonna do is read the first chapter to you out here, and I hope that parents, grandparents will share it with their teens, and it can be for girls as well. And the reason why it's important is because a lot of the young people and some of the older people are not taking social responsibility of social distancing, as our President Trump has asked us to do, our mayors of our cities, the governors of our states. Excuse me. I don't have coronavirus as far as I know, thank God. But there are many of us out there that are older, that might have underlying medical issues. And just because you're young and feel like, you know, the coronavirus is a flu, if I get it, I get it, that's unacceptable. Think about the older generation. Think about your parents. Think about your grandparents. Think about those that are sick, maybe have asthma or bronchitis or other lung problems, or just feeble and elderly. And just social distance yourself. It's not our God-given right to have spring break. Yes, I took a spring break years ago, back when I was 25, and it turned out horrible. I wrote my first book on my bestseller called Bad Tequila, and that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm talking to you. I'm asking you, please do the right thing. No one wants to sit at home. I'm also a manufacturer's rep for a global tire company. I don't like being stuck at home, but there's many things we can do. We can help our parents. We can clean up the yard, clean up our room, perhaps start learning a new language. We can study via computer. That's an option. We have so many things available to us electronically now. When I grew up, I didn't go to college until I was 25 years old. And I'm very fortunate now, but was not always that way. I grew up in a family of 5 boys. My father passed away when I was a young age, and I was the oldest. So we worked, we did whatever we needed to do to help our mother pay the rent, utilities, buy groceries. We mowed lawns. I sold garden seeds, vegetable seeds. We rolled bales of hay. We picked potatoes, shucked corn, changed sprinkler pipes in the potato fields, the grain fields, the orchards, picked cherries, picked apples, picked peaches, trimmed trees. You name it, we did it. and we did it because we had to. We didn't have spring break, and we didn't expect to get paid to clean our room either. That's just the way it was. And I'm not blaming kids. I know that that's today's society, and you have a lot of things to overcome that I did not have when I was a youngster growing up in the 60s and 70s. And I feel very fortunate for my life. I got to play for Boise State University, as you'll see here, and I've had an incredible life, but it hasn't always been that way. So I'm just asking that we do the right thing, and distance ourselves for 3 weeks or a month, however long it's going to take. I'll go ahead and read the first chapter here, and I'm asking that the parents, grandparents, get a hold of your teens. Share this video with them. Ask them to sit down and spend 10 minutes and watch it with them, and talk about what's going on in our world. We don't want to end up like Italy or Iran, China. Spain and France are going through multiple cases of this coronavirus, COVID-19. It's dangerous. About 1/10 of the population that gets this virus in Italy is passing away, dying, and they're not even able to have funerals for their loved ones. The first chapter of this book is called Accepting Responsibility. Every chapter in this book has been written to directly guide a young person to the right choice when a critical situation arises that requires a long-term decision to be made. If this book were made available as a pocket reference, it would behoove you to carry it with you and refer to the appropriate section when life may throw at you that one little curve for which you don't have the answer. With this book, you will be provided, if not an answer that is tried and true for most of your particular situations, but an answer that is a prudent one and guides in helping you make mature, informed decisions based upon wisdom. I have a co-author with this, Dr. Suave Powers. I have my PhD. We've made every effort to research even the smallest pieces of advice to pass on to our young readers. We're of the firm belief that every person would make the right decision in a situation if only they had some point of reference that was solid. The ensuing pages incorporate the wisdom of many people who we've learned from and spoken to during our many years on this earth, all leading to this complete circle volume of knowledge for boys and young men. And it could be included for young girls as well. But we were just at the time focusing on young boys, since we've both been a boy and a young man at one time. I, Uncle Rico Austin PhD, am extremely proud of the contents and effort put in this all-encompassing guide for boys and young men to help them through the growing pains of youth to manhood. The most important thing for me to stress to you, whether you're adopted, raised by a single parent, raised in different households by 2 or more parents, have parents that have been too busy trying to provide for you, or even for those who have been raised in an almost perfect and nurturing setting, is that each and everything you do as a young adult is from a choice that you and only you have made. This book is to help you choose the right and honest path to live your life so that you may prosper and become a productive member of society, and perhaps become a mentor for other young men in the future. Dr. Suave Powers and I are not psychologists, nor do we claim to be psychiatrists. We are both middle-aged men who have been married one time or another, have had children, have lost loved ones, have been incarcerated, have loved, have hated, but most of all, we have experienced life and all she has to offer. The best, the worst, and the ugliest. I believe that most psychiatrists and psychologists try to get their patients to blame someone else when things go wrong or when we don't make the right choice. These professionals usually blame the mother or the dad or an imperfect childhood for teenage and adult problems. I say man up and personally take the blame for your shortcomings. We as individuals choose either right or wrong. Just so there is no misunderstanding concerning psychologists or psychiatrists, I am including the definition of each. I'm not saying that we as human beings do not need these two groups of professionals. However, I am saying that many times they are used as an excuse for unacceptable behavior. Psychologists study the human mind. They also try to explain why people act as they do. They do research to test their ideas about people's actions. Their research methods vary. They may get data from lab tests, interviews, and surveys. Psychologists usually specialize. Some people help with mental problems, while others help people with divorce and death of a family member or friend. They work with people of all ages, but work mainly with old people or young people. Psychologists help people deal with problems of everyday living. Psychiatrist is a physician who specializes in the diagnosis and treatment of mental disorders. All psychiatrists are trained in diagnostic, evaluation, and psychotherapy. As part of their evaluation of the patient, among the mental health professionals, only psychiatrists are authorized to prescribe psychiatric medication and conduct physical examinations. Here's a quote from John D. Rockefeller. I believe that every right implies a responsibility, every opportunity an obligation, every possession a duty. Go out there, do what's right. Practice social distancing. Don't hoard. Get enough groceries to last you a couple of weeks, and make good time of this with your loved ones, of this time of social distancing. But don't think it's your right to just because you're young or healthy to infect others. This flu-like virus that's very dangerous is very contagious. Go out there. Show mankind that you love them and be a better citizen, as will I. Follow the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Adios.